Whoa, new graphic. How crazy is that? I mean, you and I can't see it, but everybody at home can see it, I think, and everybody at home can hear too. Chicago Hockey Radio postgame show. Hawks lose 5-3. Justin Lynch, Tassos Kirkos. Please subscribe to this new YouTube channel if you're new here. If this is your first time hanging around for a postgame show, hit the thumbs up while you're watching it to follow us on Instagram, tell a friend, and leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Hawks blow, probably the most, inspired performance of the season and most feel good, most biggest sense of relief and release, I guess you could say, for this hockey team all year. They kind of blow it, Justin.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. This is one you definitely want to come away with. How about that? Ryan Donato hat trick, first in his career. His just absolute insanity run this season continues. What a roll. What a tear this guy is on. 28 goals this season. If you had told any of us that Ryan Donato would lead the 24-25 Blackhawks in goals, we would think you were on something, and we watched what you were on. Like, it's crazy what he's been doing this season. Also leading the team in points now. I think he just passed Bedard with 58 points, leading the team in production. Just an unreal year this guy's having. It's like you want to win a game like that, right? Milestone game for him, scores his first career hat trick. You want to win the game for him. And unfortunately, aren't able to come away with it. Not fully, I think, on the team, though. I think a bit of a questionable call, to say the least, at the end there on Teravainen, the hooking call. But yeah, it's just fortunate. I thought this game deserved overtime, but unfortunately, we didn't get it. Another 5-3 loss that feels a bit undeserved.
Yeah. Just felt like the ultimate, like last Sunday was good vibes against the Flyers. And,
Yeah.
we did Flyers are terrible talk, but tonight was like really good vibes in the building. Like Ed Belfour is in the house, the building was really loud at times. Like, I don't know. It just felt like the ultimate good vibes night
Yep.
and they blew it.
Yeah,
And
Friday night, electricity was there. And it's like Chicago sports has quietly been cooking lately, too. Cubs and Sox won their home openers last night. There
mhm,
was that Josh Giddey, winner at the UC
mhm.
24 hours ago. So I think it would have been very poetic. I was thinking to myself as this game was 3-3 late. If we could get this to overtime, I feel pretty good about our chances here. Maybe we see a 4-goal Donato game. I don't know. But unfortunately, it didn't get there. So definitely anticlimactic. Of course, the Hawks would be the team to break that perfect streak around with the Chicago sports lately. But I don't think it was fully on them, though. I thought it was a pretty good effort today, but some outside factors unfortunately influenced the ending of this one.
Yeah. Um, where do you want to start? I don't know. I mean, we could do hat trick talk, I guess. I thought the
Yeah, we'll
first
start
period,
with Donato. Yeah, you want
yeah,
to
no,
start with
I
him?
mean,
Yeah.
I just like, I thought the first period was really good too. There were positives to take away from this game, I think, outside of just Ryan Donato. And I know they got jobbed with that Teravainen call at the end. That was super soft, but,
Yeah.
um,
No, Vegas is a damn good team. They held their own, right? I thought for portions of this game, like we were the better team. I thought we had more chances, but weren't able to
yeah,
convert to them. Like, how many breakaways did we have
yeah.
tonight, right? Like, not just Donato scoring the one, but that was the only breakaway we scored on. I think we had much more than that. Nazar, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm going to be repeating myself here a lot, but it's like when he learns how to finish, man, he's going to be
Hmm.
so good in this league, but he needs to learn how to finish. Like a few chances he had. There was a chance there late. The game was tied. Teravainen set him up very nicely. If he just buries that forehand backhand, completely different game. But unfortunately, wasn't quite able to do it. I thought it was a good game for him, but would have been nice to see him produce a little bit. But yeah, I thought for the Hawks had a lot of chances, just weren't able to convert in them compared to Vegas, who are more opportunistic. But when you're a better team, you're going to convert in the looks you do get. I thought that was kind of the case for them. I don't know if they were the better team tonight, but look, when you're a good team, you're going to be able to edge out these close games. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Not to like bury the lead here with Ryan Donato. I understand we're going to do some Ryan Donato talk, but to be 100% transparent, I thought Frank Nazar was the best player on the ice for the Blackhawks once again. And like honestly, Justin, it's getting to a point where like it's so fun to watch how good he is right
mm-hmm,
now because people are going to be talking about how good he is in
mm-hmm.
give it a year.
Yep.
Give it 1 year and people are going to be like, "Oh, this kid's like the hardest worker out there. He's really smart with his stick. Like it, it, they may not need to go get Mitch Marner cuz they already may have him. You
I
know
think
what I
the
mean?
sky's the limit with him, right? Like he
Yeah.
is our Will Smith, but nobody's really talked about him. Like NHL doesn't really market him. Like a lot of like teams of like fans of teams don't even know who he is, and he's like probably our second highest producing young player right now. Probably the most impressive to watch 99 out these days. Been looking really good out there, and again, like he's getting all these chances as he matures. He's in this league longer. He's going to learn how to bury those chances, right? It's only a matter of time. So I think just watching him now and seeing him get these looks, it's like it just excites me, right? It excites me knowing how good he's going to be. I think same way you're thinking right there. So, no, definitely.
I think he's better than Will Smith. Like
I think he's going to be better than him if he isn't already. Yeah, I mean,
I think
yeah,
it's really different situations that those two are playing. Like,
yeah,
you know, Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini have been playing together most
all
of the
season.
time.
Yep.
Like
Mm-hmm.
they're out there together so much, and Will Smith didn't spend a minute in the American Hockey League either.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if Frank Nazar was up here the whole season and was playing with Bedard as much as Will Smith played with, like, Macklin Celebrini is, you know what I mean? Like, he's that kind of guy. Like, that's going to juice the legs a little bit. And yeah, I don't know. I think, like, we're talking really high ceilings for Frank Nazar. If this continues, like, if this builds into something where it's the entire rest of the way, like, Donato's been a big leader on this group so far, and I don't know, but Nazar to me is like, he could be the guy. Like, he could be
1,000%. He could be the Robin to Bedard's Batman there. And that was a thing too. Before this game, I didn't love splitting them up, right? Like, I want to see them play together consistently all year, but it's like, well, that top line looked as good as it did. Maybe I can't complain about it too much, but it was more Donato steering the ship there than anything else. So, yeah, I think with Bedard and Nazar, like, I want to see them together consistently, right? I think if you played Nazar up there, Bedard, as much as Smith plays a solid Brady, he would have that type of production that Will Smith has seen with him, right? But fortunately, we haven't really seen it consistently. It's been kind of up and down from that standpoint. But no, loved his game.
Long term, though, like long term, when you want them, when you want them playing on separate lines, like.
Well, I think that's the good thing. I think he's shown that he can drive his own line. He doesn't need Bedard. He definitely doesn't. He can totally drive his own line. We've seen that, the 2C spot. It doesn't really matter where he is, if he's on the, Bedard's wing or centering Bedard or on the 2C. He's producing. He looks like the same player every night. He's consistent. So that's a really good sign. You know what else too is, like, just how versatile he is. Like, he could play in the PK, he could play in the power play. I still don't know why he's on the second power play unit. I think he should be on the first one, because they need somebody who could carry the puck in the zone, which they don't really have in the first power play unit, which we saw tonight. That was an issue. I think Nazar should be up there. I think that first power play unit would be able to convert more. But no, I just think the fact that he could play in all situations is, like, he's going to be so good for us, man. It'll take some time, but man, like, he probably should have been with this team all season, to be honest. Like, I ever say that before the season, I had him on my roster, like, oh, he's not ready. It's like, those 20 games he played in Rockford was a joke. Like, he was in a different league. Like, don't tell me he needed that. Like, he could have easily started the year with the Hawks, like Will Smith did the Sharks, and who knows? Maybe he'd be in the Calder conversation right now. Yeah. I might be off my hinges there. Like, he's probably a step below Celebrini, Michkov, all those guys, but he'd be around where Will Smith is. So yeah.
Yeah, I just think, like, I don't know how good Will Smith is going to be. I love Will Smith as a player. Like, him and Macklin are going to be really good, but I don't know what the ceiling is for Will Smith. Like, is it 70, 80, 90, 100 points? Like, I don't know. Like, I think with Nazar, like, the more I'm watching him, the more it's like, oh, this could be like a 90-point player in the NHL. Like,
he reminds me a lot of Braden Point. Like, I see a lot of similarities there, like the speed in their game. It's like, I think he could definitely be that type of a player, like a really, really outstanding, like, number 2 in terms of the forward core. Yeah, behind Bedard.
Yeah, maybe I'm off. Like, maybe.
I don't think you are. I don't think we're being delusional. I don't think we're overhyping this kid. I don't think we've been hyping up enough, to be honest, of how well he's been playing. I know that the stats might not show it. Like, I think he has 17 points at 44 games. If you just look at that, that doesn't jump off the page, but it's like, he could easily have more than that. Like, easily. And I think he will. Like, he's going to start converting on these looks, and when he does, look out.
And I don't know. We'll see. Next year is going to be pretty exciting. I mean, really, truly, I know it always comes back to, like, who they get next year and what this team fundamentally looks like, but I don't know. Like, is Michael Meese is really good. You're gonna get him, shove him into the lineup somewhere. Like, maybe you go get somebody else in free agency. Maybe it's Mitch Marner. Maybe it's not. Like, some of those points are gonna, like, I don't know. It is gonna. I think he's so talented, Justin. Like, like. They're like, I don't know. I don't know what this is, like, an overall conversation about, like, Bedard and stuff, but, like, he looks better than Connor Bedard a lot of the time. Like, that probably shouldn't be happening, but what it means to me is, like, oh, if he keeps trying to push his development like that, like, he could be a player that at Connor Bedard's best, he and Frank, like, kind of switch off being the best player on the team sometimes, like, Connor McDavid's not the best player on the ice every single night for Edmonton because they have Leon.
Exactly. It could be that teams, kind of a connection. Yeah.
The Leafs, some days it's Austin, some days it's Mitch, some days it's Willie, which, I understand isn't the right. Some days it's different guys, right? Like, I feel like Frank can, like, do that a lot.
Yeah, and then you throw Misa in the mix, and suddenly, dude, like
Yeah.
you have quite a trio there leading your offense, a good young core there. So I think there's a lot to be excited about here. I think tonight was another, showed that once again. So good to see for sure. And I think another part is like, where is Ryan Donato fit in next year? Because
Yeah.
he's still
Good
not
segue.
extended yet, right?
Good
Like he's
segue.
still like I would expect. I'm assuming he gets extended, right? Like you don't trade the guy because you're not able to get the return you want. It's not nothing set in stone, man. Like the way he's playing right now, he's gonna score 30 plus goals. I saw in the graphic he has the most goals in a season if I'm a Hawk since Alex DeBrincat scored 41 like 3 years ago. Like that's unreal. This one's he has 58 points in 71 games. Like, look, is he going to have a year like this again? Probably not. But it's like the way he's playing, he's going to probably get a bag. Like that cap going up, contract year, 28 in his prime. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I wonder what that number is going to look like. I was saying to be around 4 million. Now it's like he could be getting around 5 million at this rate. Is that crazy to say? So hopefully, I mean, since we didn't trade him, it's like I want to hold on to him and make him a part of this. But it's like, if he wants to chase the bag and the Hawks are bringing all these new pieces, like who knows? He might, you never know. He might not be a Blackhawk. I would assume he's going to be a Hawk next year, but nothing's guaranteed here. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. If I were Kyle Davidson, my biggest worry would be term.
Yeah.
You know,
Not the number. Yeah.
we talked about it like the last podcast, the last post game show we did after the
Yeah.
Devils game. And like that cap space is going to get eaten up quicker than we all really think about. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
So I thought it'd be like a 2-3 year deal.
yeah. And like if Ryan Donato starts asking for 5 years, 4 years, even,
Yeah. No.
I'm letting him walk.
Which would suck because
Even
it's like
three,
this.
even three is like,
That would really suck though, because it's like then you're losing him for nothing. It's like
yeah.
I look at these trades in the deadline of players who are much worse than him getting first and second round picks. And it's like
Mhm.
if you lose that guy for nothing, that is an absolute failure from Kyle Davidson. So hopefully he's able to get him at a fair price for 2 years. I think that would be my call if you could do that. But got to make that happen first. But yeah, look, that's a future problem I think for tonight. All three goals were beauties, by the way.
Yeah.
The first one was a breakaway. Nice pass there. Nice breakout pass from Ethan Del Mastro. It was really good, the breakout pass back in the day. Good old DK2, Duncan Keith. That was like that type of pass, man. That was perfect. Right through the middle, set
It
up
was
and
a
out
sweet
perfectly.
pass.
The only breakaway we scored all night. If we could have scored on one more, we would have won this game. But that's the way she goes. Unfortunately, Donato only had the one breakaway, and he could finish. He takes every chance he gets. Now the second goal was on the delayed call there, a nice little passing play, which the Hawks that was like a main takeaway for me. It's like the Hawks were passing the puck super well today. Like they were finding each other. These line combos actually worked, which is something this team struggled with all year. Is just passing. And I thought they were really good from that standpoint tonight. The players are finding each other. They weren't turning the puck over for the most part. And I thought that was a nice goal there too. And then how about that hat trick goal, man? The 1T, 2 goals in 15 seconds. Bedard point there finds Mikheyev, and just a beautiful goal. And Rick Ball called it perfectly, and just felt so happy for him. I thought we were going to win the game at that point, right? But unfortunately, we weren't able to seal the deal there, which is unfortunate, man.
Yeah, I loved it, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really sweet.
electric.
Like it was
Yeah.
electric. It was really electric in there. And Ryan Donato. The reason I say keep the term short, other than you don't want this to you don't want the regression to kill you, right?
Yeah.
Is thinking of what has made Ryan Donato so good this entire season, which has been like just the effort and laying it all out on the line and willing to do whatever it takes to create chances on a team where there's literally no other chances being created.
Yeah. He takes every shot he gets. Yep.
And I just really, really see that, I don't know. I see it coming back to bite the Hawks. If you're not because he's not going to be a $5 million player next year because he's playing like a $5-6 million a year player.
Well, more than that right now, but yeah.
Like you don't want to be paying for this year where you're getting a bargain next year when it's tough. It's tough.
Because he's been a 20-30 point guy his whole career. Like this season is an outlier. He's shooting like 17% or something. It's probably a lot more of that after tonight. But the thing with Tua though is he's had such a good season. I just think the way he plays too, like a regression is inevitable, but even if he does regress, like I think he's still going to be a useful player. Like I'd still want Ryan Donato on my hockey team, and he does a little bit of everything. Can play at any line, any situation. PK, power play, doesn't matter. Like you could put him in, you could play him anywhere. So I think even he's not going to have a season like this in terms of production again, but he could still be like a good, useful player, middle six guy, right? So I think that's the good thing with Ryan Donato. Like I don't see this as a guy who's just going to disappear. So, but yeah, that's something to think about for sure.
58 points. Let's say he finishes with roughly 64. Let's say he gets 6 points over the last 9 games. I don't know.
Next year, what do you think?
Like and if they sign him to $5 million a year, like what's the point total that you're not going to be like, why did we do that?
Well, here's the thing. I know at points he's been bottom 6, but like for the most part, he's been in the top 6 this year, right? Tonight was on the first line, and like assuming the Hawks bring in some big pieces, right? He's not going to play. He's not going to get as much ice time next year. Not going to get all those looks. There's going to be more production to go around, more guys scoring. So
hopefully.
So I'm thinking like it'll probably be somewhere around 30, 40 if I had to guess. Like I don't think he's going to have another 50 plus point season. He's probably going to be 60 plus, like you mentioned. I don't see him completely drop off a cliff like Jason Dickinson did, for example, but he's not going to, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if like this is just who he is now. I hope I'm wrong. Like I hope this is just who he is. If this is a breakout season at 28 years old, year 8, whatever it is for Donato.
It's not unheard of. It happens.
It happens. Like I know they talked to, I read an article or something like he made a lot of changes in his offseason routine. Like his game is different this year compared to past. It's not the same Ryan Donato. So I do think he's going to be better from this point forward. He is in his prime, right? He's 28 now, going to be 29 next year. So he should have a few really solid years left in him here. So yeah, like he should still be firing on all cylinders. Like this isn't an aging guy. I don't know though. Like just the way he's played, like it's gonna be. It still feels like an insanity run, but I hope I'm wrong. Yeah.
That pass from Del Mastro on the first goal was
perfect.
Sick. Yeah.
Chef's kiss. No, and I think that was something I was a little concerned about this game. It's like I was excited about it, but like we had a lot of young defensemen in this game. I think if you go through 5 of the 6 are under 23 years old, right? You got Levchinov, you got Vlasic, you got Kevin back up here. You got Kaiser, you got EDM. Murphy was the only veteran there. I thought they held their own for the most part. There were a few miscues there. I think it was the second biggest goal where there was a bit of a turnover there, and Kevin maybe mispinched there, and that was what led to that second goal. But I thought the other goals were just good looks there. Like maybe I don't really know if I put that in the D. I thought otherwise they kind of held their own tonight, so that was good to see. That's what you want to see. Decent up and down game for Kevin. He had some good moments, had some bad, had some nice defensive plays, some miscues too, but. Happy to see him back up here for sure. Nice to see him and that Bedard doing that spin routine and warm-ups again. So he's got his buddy back up here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I liked Kevin. He was okay.
Yeah.
He's a little slow, I would say. He's not the fleetest of foot, I would even say like just Levchinov's speed is a little bit like the short burst stuff is a little bit
deceptive, man. Yeah. And it's effortless to Levchinov.
Yeah. And it is like just the top gear seems a bit more in the short bursts. And I don't know. He was good. He was fine. He didn't really make a bunch of mistakes. He didn't really turn the puck over a whole heck of a lot. He didn't do anything where I was like, wow, Kevin Korchinski was unbelievable today.
Yeah, I didn't really notice him a ton, but look, that's not always a bad thing if a young defenseman, right? So, but yeah, look, I'm just glad he's back up here and hopefully, can finish the season strong in the last few games for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I said to you on that pregame we did on Instagram, I was like, Pavel Dorofeyev shot 30 in the net this year.
And of course he had one tonight. I think, he had the game winner and that power play late.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Yeah, you really spoke that one existence there. I think I said it before to Vegas. I think you said it'd be 6-3 Hawks. So I think I was a little bit closer there, but we were around the same wavelength there. But yeah, I mean, he's quietly had a really good season for them. A lot of guys in that team had. Like it's this Vegas, like even on a night that wasn't their best, you still come away with the W. Like it's a strong squad there. Definitely one I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs. Like I kind of get similar vibes to the Avalanche, where it's like you won a few years ago. Maybe some people aren't. I don't want to say writing them off. They're a strong team and maybe aren't always talked about in terms of favorites. But I don't know. Like this is a team I think that'd be pretty tough. Like if I'm a team like the Oilers, I wouldn't want to play Vegas.
I think Vegas is going to the. I would say right now, if you ask me, I think Vegas is going to the Stanley Cup final.
Wow, that's high praise. Yeah, I would probably pick one at Dallas, Colorado before them.
Yeah.
but I'd probably rate them ahead of Edmonton right now. Like, I don't know, like about Edmonton.
Edmonton is in free fall.
It feels like it, but it could be in the playoffs.
They got pumped by the Squids last night.
I
Or
know,
2 nights.
but
It was last night. It was last night they got pumped by the Squids.
it's true, but it wouldn't shock me if they just suddenly found the game in the playoffs, like McDavid, Draisaitl, been banged up, right? If those two are producing at the rate they did last year, they need more depth contributions, though. But yeah, I mean, back to Vegas, though, like that's what they have is depth that maybe the other teams don't, and I just think they're a team that's built for the playoffs, right? They play just that type of grinding structure, 4 lines, 3 deep pairs that can roll. Hill was a hell of a lot better than Samsonov. He was all over the place tonight. Yeah, definitely. Both goaltenders maybe not, but he made the saves he needed to. So fair enough from that standpoint. But for Knight, yeah, there are a few there he probably could have had. He'll make the big stop, but he does let in a few more softies than I'd like to see. But I think it's just a learning experience, right, with this Hawks team, right? It's an adjustment. We give up looks. There's no doubt about that. We give up high quality looks, so it's an adjustment. So I'm not concerned. Like I think he's going to be fine, but he has had a few games here that maybe could have been better. 3 straight starts for him too. So
Yeah.
A little surprised about that. Yeah, Soda is probably wondering when he's going to get his next look there. Maybe Utah. Yeah.
3 straight, and I think they said 4 or 5 too for Spencer Knight. So
yeah. So,
the first one was definitely one that you want back.
Oh yeah, that was just 5-hole there. It wasn't really. It didn't look like Stone got much on that either. Just kind of fooled him. Was a little sleepy there. Second go out put him. I think that was a bit of a bad change there, bad turnover, and then the pinch wasn't good there from Kevin, and that was kind of led to that goal. I don't really remember the third goal much, to be honest, but the fourth one was in the power play. I'm not gonna put that at him. I think that's just a nice 1T. But yeah, could have been better.
Victor Olofsson was a good pickup for Vegas. Is good, dude. I don't know. Like, that's a really good hockey team. It took them a while to get into that game, I felt like. Like, their first period was the worst period. Then the second period, obviously, they kicked it into gear a little bit more. Still let up the 2 Donato goals, though. And, by the third period, it was like, oh, we're not losing.
They figured it out.
They were like, we're not losing to the Blackhawks tonight. And they get the call. Okay, let's talk about the call. I thought it was I thought it was soft. I thought it was really soft. It is what it is. Yeah, the second Olofsson goal in the third period, that was a rip, dude. He just ripped that thing. I don't know. Spencer Knight, you can't really fault him too much other than the first one.
Yeah, that was really the only softie of the night,
but the penalty.
Yeah, but you brought up Olofsson. Like the Kings, or not the Kings. The Knights are the kings of finding players like that, where it's like players that didn't really work out or were kind of maybe struggling in their old situations, and you bring them in at Vegas, and they're just perfect fits, and he's kind of found his game again there. So
Brendan Saad too, he looked good.
He looked good today. He tracked down Bedard, one of those power plays. I'm like, dude, you can't let 2025 Brendan Saad outskate you there. One thing I will say he's got to work on, Betsy, is his speed. He's not a bad skater, but he just needs more. He needs to be faster. But he did have a nice assist.
Also, do you not know 2 guys are bearing down on you?
That whole power play just sucked though. They couldn't even get in the zone. That was just terrible. But I mean, that could have been the difference here. But back to what I was talking about. Yeah, Vegas just they every single year they're able to make this work. I don't know how they're able to do it. Just every year they're able to build a contending team. They don't build through the draft. They build through free agency. They build through trades. They keep this thing competitive. They work their magic of the salary cap. That is the team that everybody should be trying to emulate these days. It's hard to do. Most teams built through the draft, but it's if you're not doing that, then Vegas is the alternative. Yeah. Yeah,
and the NHL's gotten to a point where it's oh, if you're not going to build a team like that, then I will. Or somebody else will. Florida went from the worst franchise to ever grace the National Hockey League to now the toast of the NHL. And it's because they were oh, we just need all the best players. Okay.
I think the cap going up is only going to help a team like Vegas more, right? So yeah, I mean, because Vegas, and that's a market, man. That's going to.
But in theory, it should help a team like Chicago too.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. No doubt about it, for sure. But yeah, to get back, we got to talk more about this penalty here, which I know we've done a lot of ref talk lately, and we kind of forced it to do it because that just seemed like a soft call there, man. I don't know. Turbo was pretty confused about it. I'm sure Sortson, as usual, had absolutely nothing to say about it. I'm sure he'll say in his post game, "Oh yeah, I didn't feel the need to, make my case there at the refs, as usual." But that felt like a tough one, and that was unfortunately the difference in this game, which is a shame to lose a game like that. second consecutive game, I feel like we lose a game off of, some bad calls, but maybe I'm coping. I probably am, but it just feels like way too often this season the Hawks have been on the wrong side of situations like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't like the call. I thought it was pretty soft. I didn't know if there was like a makeup situation going on or
Let's see.
like,
Power plays tonight where we had one and they had two. So
yeah.
yeah.
So not really,
No, it's just that late in the game. Like there's 4 minutes left, and you're gonna call something like that. Like
Yeah.
just that game deserved overtime, man. Like that totally Friday night. Like that sucked. It was anticlimactic end to what was otherwise a great game. I thought this was a much better game than the Wednesday game was okay, but this was a hockey game, man. This was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the loss, like I'm upset about it, but I'm not upset with the team. I thought the Hawks had a really strong effort today. Like they did it lay down and die. Like especially in that second period when it's like they let up consecutive goals within a minute. I mean, we've never seen that this season, right? I was like, here we go again.
Yep.
But they woke up after that. You get consecutive goals for Donato, a hat trick, and it's like you love to see that. In the third period, unfortunately, things went awry, but it's not like they didn't get their looks. It's not like they didn't get their chances. Could have easily buried this game, but it's a learning experience for a young team, and this is a very young team right now. We're going to see a lot more of these learning experiences the last 9 games of the year here. So definitely a game to build from for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a fun point and then I have a serious point. Pat Maroon almost scored the goal of the year in the first period.
Oh, that move he made, the roller hockey move, like the little toe drag there. That was let's say he's got silky hands, man. Like he might be slow as hell, but he's got silky mitts. So the Unk still got it there. He's going out these last 9 games swinging. So love to see it. Wish he could have buried that one. That would have been on the Sports Center top 10 highlight reels there. But yeah, at least he's looking energetic here this last little few games of his career, just what you want to see. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that would have been goal of the year, though. If that had gone in the net, that would have been the goal of the year.
Yeah, all Swedish, no finish, unfortunately. Frank Nazar took notes from that the rest of the night, but yeah, unfortunate.
The only other thing I had was I really like the first and second line. Like it took you 100 tries, but you might have found it here with 10 games left in the season. And remember that feeling going into next season when you're like, when you have mostly the exact same players, it's like, wait a minute, what was that combination at the very end of the year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So starting next year, we should already have it figured out, right? So yeah, look, 73 games, better late than never. Yeah, I think you said too, like that second line had good potential there. I think, Nazar between Teravainen and Bertuzzi worked. And that Mikhail Donato Bedard line looked good. Bedard back at center today. And I thought it was a pretty decent game for Bedard. Had his assists there, had his looks. I thought the top 6 looked about as good as you could expect from this team. Didn't really notice the bottom 6 too much, but that's okay. I thought probably the best line combinations we've seen in a while. So maybe stick with them here the last few games. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm sure they'll be completely different next game, but we'll see.
I even thought Bertuzzi was like kind of transporting the puck pretty well today, and
yeah, he's actually looked all right lately. Yeah, streaky Bertuzzi. Yeah, streaky Bert.
All right. Anything else from this one?
Not really. I mean, shots on goal were about even, 22-21. We almost won that battle. Face-offs were even too, 48-51. So everything about this game, even that one power play was the difference, and it was otherwise a close game. So, but otherwise, good game for the Hawks. Shots are pretty even throughout the periods too, 6, 7, 8. So it was a pretty consistent effort, which you haven't really seen much this season. So that's good to see. I thought for the most part, good game for the Hawks. Day off tomorrow, and then back at it Sunday against the Utah Hockey Club, which is a team that we should be able to beat at this point because they've looked absolutely terrible lately and seem like they're out of this playoff race here. And I wonder if we'll see a couple additions on that Sunday game because we did see it today, but there's still that Moore and Zell situation to figure out that the LCs. So maybe we'll see some news about that tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah. Connor Bedard 0 shots on goal tonight.
Well, that's the issue. Yeah, that's not good. But he was at least finding guys and dishing. But yeah, you gotta get some shots though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Donato was shooting for everybody in that line, which that's what he does. Like that's the big part of why Donato's been so successful this year. Like he gets a look, he takes it every single time. Like he's got a shooting mentality, which again with Betsy, the shot you have, that's the type of mentality you should have too. But
shoot the puck.
Yeah. But maybe when you get a guy who can find you consistently, like a Mitch or a Misa, maybe there'll be less of a problem next year. Or just Nazar every day with him. I think that would do wonders too. Yeah.
Rinzel and Moore signed before tomorrow's practice. # Nolan Insider from Andrew Nolan.
What time's practice tomorrow?
I don't know. Probably 11.
He's got inside information there. Is he just joking around? Is he actually
might
got
just be
information?
joking around. I don't know.
I don't know. Nolan. I don't know. I wouldn't underestimate Nolan there.
No, I just assumed he was joking around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of inside information he
has. I'm just messing with you, but I think that makes sense though, right? Like I understand that announcing it today, you got a game, but you got nothing going on tomorrow except for the practice, so that would be a good time to do it. Get them one practice before you suit them up Sunday, right? Yeah.
Get it done. Just get it done. Just get it done. That way we don't have to talk about it, and then we can maybe actually see a couple of these kids in some games here. All right.
I think that'd make a big difference, man. Moore is such a speedy guy. I think he and Nazar together would be a lot of fun to watch. Like he has a lot of those similar intangibles in his game. So, and Renzel on that back end, like we could have a top 4 of Vlasic, Levshinov, Korch, Renzel at the end of the year. Give it to me, man. That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Renzel was really good in Minnesota's loss yesterday. How are your Frozen Four brackets? I assume y'all picked correctly. My national champion Maine just lost 5-1 to. I probably should have checked where they were playing the hockey game before picking Maine to even win a game. They were in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is like right there for Penn State, and you can imagine who they were cheering for in that game. That game was awesome, though. Yeah. And then James Hagan scored late to tie it.
What a nice goal there. What a nice goal. I think Hagan's has kind of become underrated here, man. Like, I think a lot of people forgotten how good he is there. I think that goal reminded a lot of people there. So could definitely still be a top pick in this draft, potential future Hawk there. I still want Misa, but that would be my backup plan there, James Higgins. And then Martone would be a good 3 option. Not to get my prospect talk in here, but I had to get a little
No. I mean, it's that time of year. The Hawks stink. No, I get it. The tournament's on. I like this. For Higgins, this is like... Being in the NCAA tournament is this is your moment. Like this
Last
is if you're
raise the stock.
If you're in junior hockey, like this is like being in the Memorial Cup. Like this is the time to change people's opinion about you or convince solidify their opinion of you. Both good and bad.
Yep.
So
well, I think he's shown himself to be a clutch player, man. Like I know his college season, he lit the world on fire, but I still go back to that World Juniors, man. He was arguably the U.S.'s best forward in that tournament, and he just shows up at clutch once. We saw that last night, or not last night, today. This day has been so long, I forgot it was today. But that wraparound goal there with 77 seconds left. Good players show up in the clutch moments, man. I think he's one of those bright light players. So not a backup option to have behind Michael Misa.
The other games were blowouts too. Penn State beat, or not Penn State. UConn beat Quinnipiac. That was their first.
How about that? Yeah.
That was their first ever tournament game, and they won it. And so that was pretty cool. And then Denver dummied Providence. That wasn't even.
So
that wasn't even competitive.
Thompson continues there. Yeah, that Denver team, man. Yeah, but David Carl behind the bench will get him one more ring there before he moves on to Hawks, right?
Do you see that Zeev Bouillon goal in that game?
Yeah, that was really. He's special, man. He's gonna be
sick.
Dynamic.
That was unbelievable. The extra stride in the slot to gain speed there and cut with your right leg and then snap the puck past the goalie.
You brought up Steve Bouillon. You know what? His breakout pass in the gold medal game to find Teddy Steger for the game winner. That reminded me a lot of that Del Mastro breakout pass today. It was virtually the same play. Mm-hmm. So, there you go. Random reference there. But if the real ones know of World Junior people. But, Bouillon's fun to watch for sure. Yeah.
And, yes, junior hockey is in playoffs right now, too. A lot of playoffs started yesterday or today.
The Bulldogs won today, I think. I think Van Acker had a couple assists and Lardis empty netters. So, I'm always tracking the Hawks prospects, seeing how they're doing for sure. In terms of my bracket, it's unfortunately screwed. I had Minnesota winning, but I'm not upset about them.
All of our winners are out. All of our winners are out on the first
I just picked all the Hawks guys, right? But look, it's a win-win situation, right? Because if they lose, then we get to see them earlier. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. It is. Okay. I hope everybody's happy that I push this on for another 3 minutes to talk about prospects.
Yeah, we got our college hockey talk. So Nolan, all you prospect people in the chat, you should be happy today.
It's all of them. Yeah, it's all of them. They're all.
We got a prospect talk in here.
Yeah. Okay. Subscribe to this podcast. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Hit the thumbs up on this video if you're watching right now, and tell a friend to follow us on Instagram. Because it helps out a ton. Myself and Lee, I think, are doing the post-game show on Sunday after the game against the club. So we'll see everybody then. And Justin, I will see you Monday for the podcast.
All right. See ya.